Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the last day. My name is Jeff Aaron, and I run marketing for Mist Systems. What we are, for all intents and purposes, is a next-generation wireless networking system. And I know a lot of folks are probably thinking to themselves, wireless networking, that's not new. That's been around for 10, 15 years. It's in my Starbucks. It's in the convention center. What could we possibly talk about wireless networking that's new? But the fact of the matter is, this device is relatively new. And how we use this device is very new. And it's really changed the wireless networking game on a couple fronts. For one, we're seeing more and more companies have wireless first policies, where wireless is more business critical than ever. And that's a challenge, to maintain that criticality, to maintain the uptime, to maintain the reliability. As many of you know, when you walk into a hotel or somewhere else and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. The second biggest challenge is that there's just so many variants of these devices out there. There's Android, there's Google, there's Apple, there's iOS phone 6 acts differently than iOS 7. And so there's a major challenge there where just the scalability of handling all these devices and all these variants is increasingly tough. And you just can't handle that anymore using the same old manual ways you did Wi-Fi in the past. Those are the challenges, but there's also some good news. And that's that these devices also enable enterprises, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a healthcare, whether it's a corporate environment, to engage with wireless users like never before. And so for the first time, wireless isn't just about connectivity anymore. It's not about just getting your email or your internet. It's about experiences. It's about greeting someone when they walk in the door. It's about giving them directions. It's about making their life better. And so that's what we want to do as Mist, is one, use machine learning to simplify operations, deliver better predictability in terms of Wi-Fi, but also use this new technology called Bluetooth to better enable, to better give contextual experiences using wireless as well. So that's why we created this company. Our platform really has three real elements associated with it. So one is there is an access point, so you need a device that's actually on-prem that does both Wi-Fi and BLE and even IoT, but something that actually interfaces with a customer when it comes on site. And actually, we're working with Cisco, for example, where our BLA technology is actually part of their beacon point technology. So that's one of the relations we have with the Cisco solution. But then what holds that together is the cloud, right? You need the ability to take a large amount of data from these wireless users. In fact, we're actually collecting 100 states from every wireless device every 2 seconds. And you need a place to store that, right? So you need a purpose-built cloud, one built on the modern era, one that uses elements like Storm and Spark and Kafka. So we basically built this cloud, the same platform that Netflix uses and Facebook uses and Google uses for their cloud is what we did for ours, because we want to be able to, again, collect all this information from users and do something really interesting with that. And that's the third element. That's all about machine learning. So it's all about understanding what wireless devices are on your premise and doing things like event correlation to get to root causes really quickly, doing things like machine learning to figure out accurate location, doing things like machine learning to capture packets and store it in the cloud. So again, we're all about automating the operations associated with Wi-Fi and using machine learning to do better location-based experiences. So as we said, there's really two services that are offered on top of our platform. There's the Wi-Fi assurance service, and then there's the BLE service. And really, that says two goals. For an IT administrator, it's to make your lives easier. Lower costs, get to root cause problems quicker, get rid of all those manual tasks you had to do to make sure your Wi-Fi was working. And then for an end user, it's all about a better experience when you walk in the door. Wi-Fi that's predictable and consistent, and also a better location-based experience. And we'll give you some use cases in a second. So I'm going to spend a little time talking about each of those things, the Wi-Fi service and the BLE service, to talk about why we're unique in the industry. A demo is always better, so we're happy to kind of show you guys in real time, but I'll show you this in PowerPoint a little bit. So the first thing is on the Wi-Fi side is this is an interesting problem. If you went to any Wi-Fi administrator and you said, for example, the guys running this network right now, they're doing a fantastic job. But if you went to them and said, how is your Wi-Fi network running right now at this given time? The answer would be, I don't know. And it's not because they're not smart. It's not because they don't know Wi-Fi. It's because they don't have the tools. When something goes wrong, they know. They'll get the help desk call. But they don't know right now exactly what kind of level of service we're offering. So the first thing that we wanted to bring to the equation is this concept of a service level for Wi-Fi. So for example, if the administrators here said, I want every single user in this room to be able to connect to the wireless network in under 4 seconds, tell me exactly what percentage of my people are hitting that and who specifically is not hitting that so I can go troubleshoot it. Or if I want to say, I want everyone in this convention center to get 10 megabits per second throughput, I want you to predict, use machine learning to tell me if every single person here wanted to get 10 megabit would they get it, and what percentage would hit and what wouldn't. So this whole concept of a service level, managing wireless as a service, is one of the things that we bring to the equation. The next thing we do is, as we mentioned, is we use machine learning, so if something does go wrong, if Todd's wireless network isn't working, we actually help you get to the problem quicker. Also often is, if your wireless doesn't work, if you show up in a hotel and you can't connect, what's the first thing you say? God, this Wi-Fi sucks. Well, half the time it might not be the Wi-Fi. It might be your wired network. It could be you're not getting a DHCP address. It could be your phone's not working. If you have hundreds or thousands of people on a wireless network and you're getting all these event logs, as a wireless administrator, you just don't know what to do with that, right? So the second thing we do is we do root cause analysis and remediation. So we take all that data for you, and we come back and say, here's exactly what's wrong. This user, he had a DHCP problem. And oh, by the way, maybe you want to decrease your DHCP lease times so that doesn't happen again. That user, he was in a bad coverage area. Maybe this is how you should go fix it. So it's all about preventing you as an administrator from having to sort through all that data. We do it all for you using kind of big data and machine learning. And then the last thing we do on the Wi-Fi side is something that's actually really cool, is if someone does have a problem, we actually detect that, and we automatically start to capture the packets, and we store it in the cloud. So one of the biggest challenges with Wi-Fi is, if I'm picking on Todd, if Todd went to his hotel this morning and couldn't log in, he'll then log a help desk complaint. The help desk will finally get to it. Maybe tomorrow, they'll send someone on site, maybe send someone to his room to try to figure out what went wrong. The problem is that problem is probably long gone. It could have been due to too many people in Todd's room. Maybe he was having a big party. It could be due to a door that was open that was blocking the signal. You don't know. We know because we've actually captured those packets in real time and stored in the cloud. So it's all there in real time at your fingertips. So this is some example about how Wi-Fi we make life a little bit easier from machine learning in terms of automation. We call this the steak. Let's talk about the sizzle. The other sexy part that we do is all about BLE. Now, BLE is a lot new. It stands for Bluetooth Low Energy. The problem with BLE is, the good news is it's on everyone's phone right now. The good news is standards exist now. Google supports Eddystone, Apple supports iBeacon. So there's a way now to interface with virtually everyone now using Bluetooth Low Energy, which is really cool. We're at an inflection point where you're going to start seeing this more and more. The problem is when you walk into a room, the only way Bluetooth has worked today is there's these little hockey puck-shaped devices that are glued to the wall. And when you're standing in front of one, it'll wake up your phone and say, hey Jeff, hey Todd, nice to see you. Here's some data for you. And if you want to do something like wayfinding, directions around this convention center, you need these beacons every 25 feet. That's a real pain in the butt. And these beacons are battery powered, so the batteries go dead. People can knock into it, they get knocked off. If you're like a museum or a convention center, it doesn't really look very good to have beacons every 25 feet. So the first thing that we did is we actually got rid of the concept of a beacon. We moved the BLE functionality actually into the access point, into the infrastructure, which is powered over Ethernet. And then we created a concept known as a virtual beacon. So on a floor plan, you can actually set up these little beacons anywhere you want using software, so it has the exact same functionality without having to have those beacons everywhere on the floor. So that's really what we're doing. And again, this is part of the new Cisco Beacon Point solution with their virtual beacon that you can see. It's actually being demonstrated in 4 or 5 different places across the show floor. I know in section 1.2, they're actually having the demo set up as well. So walking through that a little bit is kind of how it works is, again, when you walk into any building that has a beacon point or a missed access point, again, you're interfacing with that device. You're sending your device information. It's then backhauling that to the Cisco cloud or to the Mist cloud. And it's coming back with your accurate location, and it's then feeding you information such as advertising or directions. It's really as simple as that. And again, you can set those virtual beacons up anywhere you want. The beauty is, again, it's all built into the infrastructure, so we eliminate the need for physical beacons, so there's no batteries required. And it all uses machine learning. So for example, if you're trying to give someone directions around the show floor, and they happen to put their phone over their hand over their phone, that's going to change the signal strength on that phone. So rather than having your blue dot jump from right here where you are to halfway across the room because you've covered your phone, you need the ability to actually detect things like that, to constantly relearn where people are so you can constantly give them accurate location information. And that's what we're all about. That's where the machine learning comes into play. So some of the use cases, as we mentioned, it really spans every vertical. We have customers, such as the top retailer in there that's doing wayfinding, so you can help find diapers in their store or eggs in their store. We have large healthcare providers that are using this, so when you walk in the door, they can greet you. You can immediately check in for your doctor's appointment, and you can find directions to your lab. We have actually one of the #1 resorts in Orlando that's using this for conventions. They're using this to greet people when they walk in. They're using it to push coupons for the steak buffet. Things like that are all now possible when you have Bluetooth on your phone and you can walk into an environment that's using the solution. So that's in a nutshell. Again, we're kind of reinventing wireless, so to speak. We're moving it from a network-centric approach to one that's more user-centric. Kind of our secret sauce are the access points that bring Wi-Fi, BLE, and IoT together. There's the cloud, which is purpose-built for scale and for speed, and then the machine learning, which ties it all together. On top of that, we build our Wi-Fi assurance and our BLE service, and then it's all about delivering a better IT experience, but also delivering a better user experience using wireless. Thank you very much.